Well, it's Sunday.
It's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So happy Mother's Day to
Happy
all
Mother's
you
Day.
mothers out there. I'm just a cat mom.
Yeah. So, what's on the list? We got anything to talk about?
I kind of wanted to talk about, one thing that we've been talking about this morning. One person who, they made a recommendation in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
And we think it's a fantastic idea, so much so that we might actually do it.
Yeah, that's right. We might make a cookbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
I think that's a great idea.
We'll take pictures and put one together. I'll put some stuff in there, some recipes.
Yeah.
Interesting recipes. It'll be like a 13 o'clock cookbook.
Yeah.
We'll give it to patrons, and then just sell it to other people.
Yeah, we can have like a little cocktail section. You can do like a spam section.
Like a spam section.
Although I can't call it spam because it probably get sued. I probably have to call it the spiced ham section. You could put serious recipes in there too, but it could be funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna be a mixture of everything, I think.
That's what I think it would be super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I had in case I don't know if I probably mentioned it before, but I designed the satanic spell book, the vegan black metal chef, his cookbook, which is for sale on Amazon. I designed that book.
Yeah, that sold a lot of copies.
Yeah, and
not through us, but through him. He printed them all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was like actually super fun to do, and
That's
like because I got to
Yeah.
make it look like all death.
Do we
metal
have
and
one of
shit.
those around here?
I do. It's right up there.
Yeah, grab that thing.
Hold on.
This thing's great. It's full color.
Yeah.
We'll make it like this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like,
Look
see,
at that hardcover.
Yeah.
Show them the inside of that thing. That thing's beautiful.
Yeah, I think I've done this before.
Yeah, Brian took all the photographs.
Yeah, so he just gave me all the photographs and the fucking.
Yeah, we did. She did the layout and did everything. But yeah, we'll do something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing something like that.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be that big though.
I like how I'm not gonna
That's
do it. Like
big.
I think it's funny too the way he always has he had like funny names for all the recipes, like invoking the majestic throne of Scampi.
Yeah.
And instead of saying ingredients, he says spell reagents.
Yeah.
And so he has, and the cool thing too is he has like a little QR code like on every menu, and if you scan it with your phone, it goes right to a YouTube video that shows him making it. Yeah. And he took like a photo of every step of these are all vegan recipes, obviously, but
he's got photos of every step of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So and it's funny, like he wrote like all these little like sidebars and shit like that. So that's kind of like what we were thinking. But we hadn't really thought about doing a cookbook before, but then when somebody said it in the YouTube comments, I was like, man, that might actually be a really
we
good
should do something
idea.
like that.
We should totally do that.
We could do the photography and stuff. I can do that.
Yeah.
And we'll make the stuff, the plate presentations, and take pictures of it. I don't think with the kind of stuff that I make, you probably wouldn't need pictures through the whole thing. Probably just need pictures of the finished product. I mean, it depends on probably what the recipe is.
Yeah, you might need pictures of like a couple of the steps if they were complicated or anything.
I'll have my pizza section to show you guys how to make pizza dough.
Yeah.
And then how to make the sauce and everything. Because some people, shit that we eat around here and stuff that we eat on the show.
Yeah.
All the drinks.
Yeah, we should do all the drinks and then pizza. You make like a lot of Indian and Thai food.
Indian and Thai food.
Chinese food, that kind of stuff.
We'll do some white trash food.
We'll do some white trash food.
Yeah, southern stuff.
You can do your paprikash recipe.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Some of the Brazilian stuff that you make every now and then. You know what I mean.
Cornbread, special cornbread. Mexican cornbread, that's another one I used to. What else did I used to make?
God, like...
I make everything.
He does, yeah.
Making ravioli. Haven't made those in a while.
Yeah. You have a pasta maker, too.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't.
All the Chinese food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We make a lot of Indian food and Thai food and Chinese food, I feel like.
Yeah.
And pizza.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I just I thought that'd be fun, and it's like, I have a lot of other projects too, but we could do it just like a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And over the next couple months.
Some of those sandwiches on that bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of bread is that? I forgot what it's called.
What, like pita bread?
No, the square ones. I just got
ciabatta.
Ciabatta, yeah.
Yeah. Make
ciabattas.
Yeah,
I come up with some good recipes.
Yeah, you got all kind of like fun shit because we make good stuff all the time.
Probably ought to keep most of it just like simple food.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean, just regular people can cook at home.
Yeah, nothing that you have to be
super skilled at.
It's just like, and you're really good too at just like looking in the pantry or the fridge and like
coming up with
something, what I mean? It's like, hey, we could do this and that, and like something that I wouldn't have thought of, because usually I'll just dump stuff out of a can, honestly, because I'm lazy. Yeah. But another thing I wanted to talk about too. Okay, so this is how we spent our Saturday night, you guys, because we recorded the next episode of the show on Friday night. So Saturday night, we were like, oh, well, maybe watch a movie or something like that. And then we saw on Netflix that they had added the 5th season of Hoarders.
Oh, yeah, man. That shit there, man.
So guess what we ended up watching like all night?
We watched 3 hours of that.
We watched like 3 hours. I had like a fucking Bloody Mary, and I'm just like sitting there watching it, and I'm just like
I had to take a shower after watching
more and more horrified. Well, I know. It's just, the good thing about watching that is that it just like makes me want to clean like afterward. Yeah. It's just, it's really frustrating to me because, I mean, my grandfather was a hoarder. Not to quite the extent as some of the people on his show, but it was still on this show, but it was still pretty bad. And he did it to 2 houses. Like, he had one house and that kind of filled up, and then they tore that one down, and then he moved to another one and he filled that one up too. And then when he died, like, my mom and all the rest of her siblings had to go in there and clean everything out. It was just like dumpsters and dumpsters and dumpsters worth of stuff. But, I mean, some of the people in here, this is like some next level shit.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's just nothing. He just put boxes and shit. He just had boxes and shit. They have fucking old ladies in here that are shitting and pissing on the floor and living in it. And then chaining their dogs up to shit and piss on the floor and live in that. And it's just like, they come in there and they try to reason with this woman. And this is some kind of modern thinking. I know they're trying to put on a show, but that shit's not supposed to happen. You can't reason with a person like that. As soon as a person's shitting on the floor and shitting in cups and leaving it around everywhere, you're just supposed to be locking them up. You can't reason with a person like that. They've lost all fucking reason. That's primitive
behavior.
It's
sad because there's some people on there that I actually, because like the second episode we watched, which was like a guy, I think it was in Fairbanks, Alaska. And he at least, I mean, it was a mess, and like he was kind of more like my grandfather because he just like kept buying cars and boats, and he had like a huge, like a beautiful like 5-acre lot, and he had like 100 cars, like junky cars. He just turned it into a
junkyard.
And you know what I mean? And at least he didn't have like a shit ton of neighbors and stuff like that were suffering, but he at least knew that he had a problem. I mean, he had a hard time like getting rid of stuff, and like he didn't want to sell the cars and things like that, but he knew that it wasn't right, and he knew that it. I
have a feeling that people knew that he had that weakness, and instead of fucking taking shit to the junkyard, they just go to him and just go, "Hey, I know you like old stuff. Hey, look at this car. You want this car?"
I imagine, that he probably was like,
"If you give me $200, you can have this car." And it's a totally fucking worthless old fucking like 82 old.
Yeah, because they're like, "Hey, take it to that guy. He'll take anything."
You couldn't even get rid of. You know what I mean? And he'd buy it. So I think.
I mean, he kept other shit too, but that was just kind of, he kind of kept everything.
He had a weakness for fucking taking
cars and junk, forklifts.
Yeah,
Jeeps.
Old junk. Yeah, I paid $1,000 for that. He's probably lying, but he probably didn't pay anything for that shit.
I think a lot of them like get into like, and like I said, I kind of felt sorry for because he had like a lot of, like his wife died, and then like his daughter died of, I believe, of a drug overdose. And so he had like a lot of problems, and like, he lived alone like out in the middle of nowhere, and he didn't really have like a lot of people to like look out for him and shit, which is kind of the same thing that happened to my grandfather, because he wasn't a hoarder until after my grandmother divorced him, and because she used to live in the house and it was gorgeous, and she kept it clean and everything, but the second she left, it's like he just started filling it up with stuff. And so I kind of felt bad for him because he at least knew that he had a problem and seemed to want, he wasn't like actively hostile or anything like that. The other two that we watched, like the first couple, these fucking people, oh my God, they were just like this horrifying, they were a hoarding couple.
Yeah, they thought that the government had been taken over by Nazi communists.
Yeah, liberal communist Nazism ship. Nazism ship. That's what he called it.
Nazism ship.
Yeah.
He thought Trump was going to save him. But you look at the dude, he thought the government was coming after him, and that Trump was going to save him.
He was one of those, like...
But the motherfucker's delusional,
people.
You know what I mean?
They were both delusional. It was a couple.
The entire fucking house, and the front and the backyard, they were showing a drone footage, the difference between his house and everybody else's house, and it was just like a lower middle class kind of area. His fucking property is packed. It's like a dump.
It looked exactly like a dump.
It looked exactly like a fucking dump. Just rotten trash everywhere. Rats. And it's a menace to society.
It is.
See? You know, I mean, you could smell that fucking house. You know, they said you could smell that house from a distance.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors came to help him to pick all the shit up, to get it all out of there. They were sick of it.
I don't blame them.
If you live next to that, and the people living next to that houses were fighting off the rats.
Yeah.
He thinks Trump's going to save him. So Trump ain't going to save you, bro. You're fucking making rats.
He basically, every time, like, somebody came, and I should say that the liberal Nazism ship people that he kept bitching about, like, the code enforcement people, they gave him every opportunity. Yeah. They started giving him citations in 2012, and then they didn't do anything. It's like, you know what I mean? They kept saying, hey, you want city people, you want them to come out and help you clean it up for free. And this guy still was like, oh, help me, I'm so oppressed. And I just couldn't, like, and they stole my dogs. I'm like, you were keeping the dogs in a cat carrier.
Yeah.
In a tiny little hall with crap everywhere, and they were pissing and shitting where they were. Yeah. And you weren't letting them outside to run around or anything like that.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that...
So, yeah, they took your fucking dogs away.
Yeah. And it wasn't the liberals doing this shit to him.
Nobody was doing anything to them.
This is in his mind.
He just thought it was like, he was just like a crazy... Projecting. He was a fucking... Both of them. It was a couple. Yeah, they were they were lunatics.
Because the cops...
Jackbooted thugs. They had a big fucking cardboard sign. And just, like, she took a picture and put it on her fucking Twitter. And I was like, what the fuck is the matter with you people?
Yeah. Because, the cops and the people that were dealing with him were nice to him, and...
Everyone was way nicer to them than really they probably deserved, I have to say.
Well, I just thought it was bizarre that he was calling them Nazi liberals, commie Nazi liberals, when I'm looking at the dude and I'm going, nah, that dude probably voted for Trump.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, it's...
He just, if you weren't going his way, he thought you were...
Well, like I said, he was completely delusional.
He's delusional.
He was like sitting there, God damn it, this is America and I have a right to like live in the middle of a fucking garbage dump, where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, honestly, if I lived next door to you, I probably would have got up there to set your fucking house on fire while you were in there.
Well, who was that dude? The city something or other. He was like...
he was code enforcement or something like that. I think he was code enforcement.
He's like, yeah, you're free. But you're not free to contaminate
the whole entire fucking neighborhood. It's like other people live here too, God damn it.
Rats and roaches.
That's the problem with that kind of people. They're all just like, well, my rights. I have the right to do this and that. And I'm like, oh, and so nobody else have rights? Just you? Is that how that goes?
He had the right to fucking contaminate the fucking everybody else's shit and force them to live in his smell.
Yeah, and it was like the wife too. They were both terrible, terrible people, and it was one of the worst things that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then like the last one that we watched, I mean, that woman was clearly very, very mentally ill.
Yeah, she would shit in a cup in front of her fucking grandchildren, and just
because her grandchildren had to stay there for a while because their mom got put in jail like for drugs.
In the cups and putting in there, and then just fucking throwing the cup in the middle of the fucking floor.
She would pee in a cup and hand it to her granddaughter
and tell her to put it outside.
Oh, go dump that out by the bush. And the bathroom worked.
Yeah, bathroom worked. And then she got taken out of her house and was moved into her daughter's house, which is a clean place, and she kept doing that in their place.
She would like poop on the bathroom floor.
Yeah, and then and poop on shit on the floor. She'd piss in the cups and fucking put the glass up there fucking in the on the fucking table. And that was like a drinking glass.
Like, who does that? Crazy people.
That's the thing. That's the thing I was saying. I was seeing some of these mental health people and everything. I don't fucking get it.
Well, there are some people that I think are just probably too far gone, and she was like much older. I mean, she will probably have to be institutionalized because
we were saying that from the beginning, and they're still trying to reason with her.
Yeah, but like I said, they do have to make a show out of it. They are trying to give everybody on there like as much opportunity, because some people actually do like the people on there like are really, really frustrating, but sometimes like they'll have a breakthrough and they'll be like, oh, and they'll figure it out. But there have been some people, not many, there's like a handful, that this woman like last night, and there was one a couple seasons ago that I'm thinking of, like a really old woman, where you just can't seem to get through to them because they just don't understand
It's like in that movie Bronson, where when he goes into the insane asylum and that dude just shits on the floor and then just picks the shit up and shit and starts fucking rubbing it on his face or whatever and playing with it. And that's like an old trope that you go to these damn insane asylums and people fucking shitting on things. It's a trope for a reason, because there's some people regress, their brains get so fucking fried that they regress into, it's not even primitive behavior, because animals don't do that. It's just fucking...
Yeah, that's like...
And animals don't do that.
Animals are smart.
They bury it. They try to stay away from it.
Yeah, because it's like a contaminant.
Yeah, they know better. It's just fucking, they start glitching out and doing weird shit like that. And when a person does that, that's just a sign that they're fucking gone.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is that this is actually not the only floor shitter that has been on this on Hoarders. I think a couple seasons ago there was that one woman. She was at least
shitting in bags,
shitting in plastic bags, but she was keeping the plastic bags for whatever reason. And it was like, and it ended up collapsing the floor in her bathroom. Now her plumbing did not work, and she could not afford to fix it.
But she didn't throw it out.
But yeah, that was another thing. Why didn't you throw it out with the garbage?
All you do is just put it out in the garbage. But you see, she had some kind of fucking weird... She couldn't throw anything away. Nothing. Even her own shit.
Well, so this woman that we watched last night was like that too, because pretty much her whole entire house was just covered with human feces. It was just garbage. The whole floor was just garbage.
And the neighbors said that fucking trash never got put out. She never threw
She never put the trash out. It's like as many years as she lived there.
That just means that the garbage stayed in the fucking house.
Dogs shitting all over everything. Mice and rats shitting all everything. They went in the house and like all over the walls, it was like fly shit.
Yep. It was like a dump and a fucking cesspit. All, you know what I mean? Fucking in that house.
I had to go into that, I don't know how like the people on this show fucking do it, because I mean, yeah, I know they have like masks and hazmat suits on and stuff, but it's like even the thought of it, like I'm sitting there just watching it on TV. I can't even smell it or anything. Just the thought of it just makes me gag forever. I don't understand how like people can go, and I can't imagine. I mean, like I said, after my grandfather died, I went into his house while my my aunts and uncles and my mom were cleaning it out, and they had already cleared some of it out. And he wasn't like, it was mostly just stuff. Yeah. It wasn't really garbage or anything. It's like there was some kind of shit like that in there where he didn't throw like an old can away that he had eaten beans out of or something like that. But it was mostly just stuff that he collected. Like he liked guns and cameras and jewelry and that. Yeah. So he just had like boxes of that kind of crap, or books. But, it was dirty, and the floor had collapsed, the stairs had collapsed, and some, like, parts of the upper floors had collapsed also. But it wasn't like, it wasn't like filthy in the sense that there was like shit smeared on stuff. Because that, like I said, some of the hoarding on there is bad, but that is a whole other level. Because she didn't really seem to see any problem with it. Like, she wasn't... At least the woman that was shitting in the bags, like, before, at least she was, like, embarrassed about it. So she had enough wherewithal, enough self-awareness to know that that's gross. Not enough to actually throw the bags away. But this woman that we saw last night that was just, like, pooping on the floor, like, wherever she sat, apparently... she didn't really seem to know why it was a big deal.
There's something to be said about, what they used to do in earlier ages, you know what I mean? They would enforce health codes. And if there was a complaint, they'd go and look, and they go, this person's filthy. And they'd lock them up. They're incapable of taking care of themselves.
Which they do nowadays, but they give you a lot more leeway. They give you
too much leeway.
They're
supposed to go in there and go, this is a violation of a bunch of health codes. This person's fucking insane. They can't take care of themselves. They got to be in an assisted living. And that's the fucking funny farm. And they put them in there. They need to bring all that kind of shit back. Now, that one dude was saying he thought the Democrats were doing it. He doesn't know what he's fucking talking about, because that wasn't something new. They used to enforce that a lot more strictly back in the 1800s even. Early 1900s. If you... lived in your own shit, you were considered to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Which I think you're fucking crazy. And to protect you and other people, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Like I said, I think the thing that happens too is that it happens a lot with like these older people, and these older people are kind of like socially isolated. Maybe they live alone. Maybe their family has moved away. So I think it goes on for such a long time because no one really knows what's going on in there. And it's like sometimes when... if they have neighbors that have never been in the house, they're just like, oh, it smells bad, or we saw some rats or something like that.
That's a sign, though.
Then, yeah, but I'm just saying that probably city code enforcement, they get like a lot of reports like that, and it takes a long time to get around to like checking them out and shit, especially if it doesn't sound like it's anything that big a deal. So I can see how it happens.
There's got to be... Now, it's going to depend on states and counties, all right? A lot of people forget that counties have different fucking rules, too. If there's reports or any evidence that there's fucking bad shit going on in a house, they got to have what's called like a health and welfare inspection.
Yeah.
You send somebody in there to make sure that there's fucking power and that there's water and that trash is being taken out. And if this person can't manage themselves, they've got to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
Because it's a fucking threat.
To other people. Yeah, yes, it's like other people have to live around that person.
Exactly. Because they're just creating disease and vectors for disease. And they're putting themselves at risk. It's just a sign that they can't live on their own.
And and I mean, like, all of these people, it's like, their houses are fire hazards. If their house is caught on fire, if something happened to them, like firefighters, medics, and stuff like that wouldn't be able to get in there because there's just shit everywhere.
If a house was on fire, firemen would go in there and save that person and try to fucking save that house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no difference between a house on fire and somebody who's living in their own shit or their own filth.
Yeah, because...
it's the same fucking thing.
It could spread to neighbors' houses too, just like fire can.
Right, and that's a sign that there's something wrong with that person, that they need help. You know what I mean? It's not a violation of their freedom.
That's what I mean. It's like, why those two, I mean, they seem to like
They were just trying to rationalize what it was they were doing.
Yeah.
And trying to vilify people and keep them away. That's what it was.
Yeah, they were just like really, really those horrible, crotchety, like old people. And they're just like sitting, their whole entire house, I don't think you couldn't see the floor. They were just like sitting. No. There was no place for them to sleep. They would just like lean up against like the piles of crap.
Yeah.
He cooked in the bathroom.
Yeah, and you should have seen that toilet.
He would like sit on the toilet and like cook on. He had like a
toilet.
Yeah, he had like a hot plate, I guess, or something like that. He was in there cooking like eggs.
Had all that damn shit mold fucking going on the outside of it and everything. They were fucking nasty, man.
It was fucking nasty. Holy crap! It's like, I don't mind a little bit of clutter, but fuck's sake, man. When you got like,
and their descendants were letting them get away with it. He had that beta-ass son who wouldn't fucking tell him to stop doing
they had a bunch of kids, but I think the other ones didn't live around there.
Yeah, they left.
Yeah.
But they knew that it was going on. I think they just knew that it wasn't worth it. They were like, fuck them.
Well, the thing about it, the son had fought with the dad like millions of times, and then finally he was just like, and I would probably do the same. It's like if you just got into the same argument with your parents, with them over and over, I'd just be like, well, fuck it. You know what? If you just want to like live and have it avalanche on you and get buried like the Collier brothers, then that's on you.
Me and Jenny were fucking saying, man, what if we lived in one of those houses next door? And I was going, Jenny, you know what I'd do is I'd fucking
burn it down.
Yeah, wait till those motherfuckers are asleep. Fucking take it down. Fucking road flare. Throw that shit in that backyard. Backyard would have gone up like a fucking...
I have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
because they've been going on for 20 years.
If I knew that there was no like innocent animals in there, and also if I knew that it wasn't going to spread to anyone else's property, because that would suck if that happened. But
it would have, because it had that wooden fence that went around it. But it looked like... You should have seen it. It looked like a fucking dump, man. I mean, like literally a dump. It was like 6 feet thick of trash.
Yeah, inside and outside.
All over the whole backyard and most of the front yard.
And it's one of the worst ones that I've seen. Yeah. And I mean, we've watched like pretty much every season of that, because it's like, I don't like a lot of reality shows, but that one is just like fascinating for some reason.
And it was literally rotten trash.
Yeah.
They had a van that looked pretty new. Opened it up, and it was nothing but just those little tiny shards of paper that little mice make.
Yep.
Almost all the way up to the fucking ceiling. The whole fucking van.
I don't know if the car ran.
I don't know how that happened.
It was just like in the driveway, and then she kept like yelling at them.
She kept fighting people to keep the fucking paper in there.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh,
no,
they're like,
good.
no, everything's contaminated. Do you understand that? It's like rodents have peed and pooped all over every single thing in this fucking car. You're gonna have to they're going to have to pretty much just set it on fire." I just feel like a lot of the times I watch this show, it's like I could never be like an OCD and hoarding therapist, like some of those people can do, because I would have just like zero patience.
Yeah,
I'd just be like, well, yeah, I'm just like, look, you're going to the funny farm, and we're just gonna bulldoze this shit and
we're
salt
burn
the earth.
this shit down, and
we're gonna let somebody that appreciates it have it.
Yeah. Because they try to reason with them, and I just get so fucking frustrated.
The one guy the one old guy that thought everyone was commie Nazis.
Yeah. Liberal communist Nazis.
He wanted to keep a 4-year-old bottle of Mountain Dew.
Yeah, to feed it to animals.
And he was going to give it to animals because they're like, look, they found a case. They hadn't been opened, I don't think, but he's like, yeah. These are 4 years old. You might want to throw these out. No, I give these to the animals. They love it. And they're like, you were giving animals 1, Mountain Dew, 2, expired Mountain Dew. I don't think that's such a good thing to be doing. But it's like, he just would not let that. And he's sitting there with it, like in the yard. And he had it. And I'm like, that's the hill you want to die on, huh?
Damn.
4-year-old bottle of Mountain Dew. This is what your life has come to.
Know.
It's like,
but we plugged that long enough, though.
It's terrible.
On a more positive note, I found a channel on YouTube that has it has many of the fucking classic In Search Ofs from the 70s. I was watching the one on the Amityville Horror.
I think I watched that one back when we did the show about the Amityville
It was good.
Horror. I think I found it on
Leonard Nimoy trying to talk about that case, and then they had fucking Ed on it, Ed Warren. Ed Warren doing a whole fucking spiel.
He had to pop his little head in.
Yeah, it's good though. There's something about the tone of those old episodes.
I love In Search Of. I think a lot of it had to do with like Leonard Nimoy's voice. Like, because everything he could narrate, like whatever. It could be like the biggest bullshit in the world, but it's just like,
spooky.
But yeah, it's like he made it sound scary, and I'm just like, I believe it.
Yeah,
because he's just, I don't know, I don't know what it's some kind of gravitas he's got.
Yeah, and they also had like the
Spock says it's true.
They had the priest that did the blessing of the house. They had him fucking, him blacked out, just his silhouette, like they used to do back then.
Yeah.
I think he's since come forth, hasn't he?
I think
he's been in a bunch of paranormal movies.
I can't get that dude's story straight, because I think that he has kind of like gone back and forth about whether he even went to the house or not.
Okay.
Because sometimes he's like, oh yeah, I went there, and there was the whole get out thing or whatever, and there was the flies. But then like later he said, no, I never went to the house. I just talked to him on the phone, and then like, no, I really did go. And
Leonard Nimoy said the case was based on fact.
Yeah.
In the very beginning of it.
They have to say that.
They didn't know.
Well,
that
based
the case
on the
is
fact.
Based on fact.
Based on the fact that people did get murdered in the house, that's true.
Yeah.
But that's probably about all that's true.
We did a whole show on that. That's one. That is one of our more famous ones, isn't it? I think we got a lot of hits on that show.
We did. Yeah. Well, because everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that case.
But
that case, though, it's an interesting case. It's a fun case to listen to, and I used to believe it, but over time, and when I got more experience, and of course, after Mammoth Mountain happened, the Mammoth Mountain case that I was involved in, that case just has the fingerprints of so many different phenomena all piled onto the same case. It can't be everything at once. It's got elements of poltergeist, haunting, but not really demonic possession. I think it's just a sign that they picked a bunch of different phenomena and put it into a case.
Well, yeah, I think they were just trying to make a good book.
It's a chimera.
Yeah.
The case is a chimera.
They wanted to make something that was like a scary book that would like.
But when you take each little account or any little story out of that case, of some phenomena that they described, it sounds fascinating. Like, oh, maybe that did happen, because it was kind of like something that happened to me, or this one was kind of like something that happened from this other case. But there's all these different phenomenon in the same case. It's just a sign that it was a chimera, that they were picking things and putting it together.
Yeah, like what sounds the scariest, and we'll weave it into a narrative. Sure.
That's what I think happened.
It worked.
It was an era. It was another era. Back in those days, if you could come up with a good story, you might be able to get a book deal and a movie deal and make a lot of money on it. But that only happened, maybe a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the 70s were kind of like the big heyday of like paranormal kind of like based on a true story type of shit. Because like I mean, you even had stuff like reincarnation, like Audrey Rose, and all that kind of stuff that was supposedly based on a real story, and all that kind of stuff. There was like a big I think, thing for that in the 70s.
Yeah, I think that was because of The Exorcist.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, The Exorcist appeared. It was a huge hit. All of a sudden, religious paranormal type shit. Yeah. Everybody wanted a piece of that, so they started coming. Well, what about Poltergeist? What about reincarnation? What about So they're all coming from these different angles.
What about the Antichrist?
What about an Antichrist? Right. What about Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably
70s was good for that.
Well, it was like a 1-2 punch, I think, of
Rosemary. What about Possessed Car?
Yeah.
What about Possessed Car?
Of Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist, you know what I mean? Yeah. Coming out like within a couple of years of each other.
Yeah, I think that's what did it.
And then suddenly everything was like, oh, Satanism.
And that was probably on the back of 2001. Because they believed that sci-fi was not respectable and that couldn't make money. And when 2001 A Space Odyssey came out, people loved it. Even though I think it was kind of, I don't think it did that well at the box office.
I don't think so either. It doesn't seem like something that.
But it made it respectable, I think, and I think the paranormal movies were kind of done on the back of that. So was Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist is that it was about like, mythological kind of stuff, like Satanism and everything, but it treated it very seriously, which was something. Religion. Yeah, which was something that was unusual. It was unusual. Out of style. Yeah, well, it was unusual for a horror movie to like take itself seriously like that. Usually they were just like fun or gory or like a wacky like big bug movie or something like that.
A lot of young people don't understand that during the time that The Exorcist came out, and also the one with the damn Antichrist, what was that one called again?
The Omen.
The Omen, yeah. That religion was very out of style at that time. But those movies helped kind of bring it back into style. And
big time.
And I think that fucking caused the satanic panic.
Yeah, it was definitely a big factor.
Yeah.
Had those movies not come out, and I'm not like shitting on those movies because I love those movies.
But I don't think there would have been a satanic panic.
But there probably wouldn't have been, because I think there was like a big resurgence in fundamentalism, I guess.
Yeah, religiosity was coming back.
You know what I mean? Maybe it would have come back anyway.
Probably would have.
Maybe it was just part of the whole zeitgeist or whatever. But
some kind of generational changes.
It does seem like that kind of like spurred it along. Those movies coming out and being about exorcism stuff. I wonder if like fucking people like Bob Larson and stuff like that would have had a career if The Exorcist had never come out.
I forgot which one Bob Larson was.
He's like...
he was the guy that would go on all the shows, right? Yeah. With the backward masking and everything?
Yeah. I mean, there was more than one, but he's probably like the most famous. I'd say he might still be alive. He's still an exorcist. He's got like a bunch of daughters, I think, and stuff too, and I think they also do exorcisms. I have one of his crazy books that he wrote like back in the 80s. Somebody gave it to me.
About rock and roll?
Yeah, well, it's about like all different types of rock and roll, Dungeons and Dragons, like all all us evil people wearing black and worshiping the devil. And, like we do.
I remember I started getting to that Dungeons and Dragons. My grandparents fucking shit. They're fundamentalists, and I was like, "What?" I didn't even know what they were talking about. Because church people believed that came from the devil. I didn't even know that they believed that.
They're like, no, I'm pretty sure it was like Gary Gygax's games.
Bunch of nerds with dice.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that is. Just using their imagination.
Yeah, Gary Gygax. I had those old D&D. They didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Especially back then, they did.
They didn't know what they're talking about. They'd tell you that fucking Pac-Man was satanic.
I'm sure you could find at least one person that said that.
Pac-Man is actually, that's the devil. And it's eating up little souls.
Yeah.
Can't you see those fucking fruit? Those fruit are from the garden.
That's right.
And the last one's a bunch of keys. It's the keys to heaven. You see, I can make those fucking narratives up off the top of my fucking head. Being chased by fucking evil spirits. All different, four of them, all different colors. These fucking evil ghosts. And you know that red one's the devil.
Yeah.
The red one's the spirit of the devil. The pink one's the spirit of homosexuality. Gays and the devil coming after you in the maze of life. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I should have been a fucking Baptist minister.
You should have. You'd have been really good at it.
I could.
Because you could come up with that kind of crap all day long.
Right. I'd entertain him and shit. put on a fucking Baptist show, entertain the women, start singing. Do you give me a hell yeah? Fucking make that shit semi-heavy metal. I have Stryper show up. Yeah.
Fucking Stryper.
Fucking stupid shit, man.
What the fuck ever happened to them, I wonder?
Making money.
Are they still?
I think so.
Do they still have that
You know what's funny, though? Is like some people were... I fucking couldn't stand Stryper, all right? I liked metal at that time. I was starting to get away from it as soon as those crazy bands like that were fucking showing up, like Stryper.
Because everyone was like, oh, come on now.
Stryper got accused of fucking making money, all right? Oh, well, they're just trying to make money off the back of religion. Nah, I think they lost money because of that fucking Christian angle. If you listen to their fucking music... It was good enough to make it was good enough to make it as a metal band.
Yeah.
But the content, it was just cheesy. If you asked me, I think it. You know what I mean?
Even by the standards.
Even by the standards of the '80s, oh man, you're like, no. Had it just been a regular metal band, it would have made a lot more money. I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, they probably like to think that they're martyring themselves. You know what I mean? It's like we could be making more money if we did all that devil music, but
I think they really believed what they were saying.
I think they did too.
Yeah.
Unlike bands like Slayer, who were just like Satanism for chuckles.
Yeah, they didn't take it seriously.
No.
It was a show.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It was
all part of their like performance.
All the black metal bands were like that.
Yeah, I don't think any of them. Well, maybe some of them Norwegian ones that like actually
King Diamond, maybe
burn churches and whatnot, but. I think most of the ones over here, they were just doing it.
Actually, King Diamond said it was a show.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not killing anybody. You know, I'm not sacrificing virgins. You know.
Maybe sacrificing non-virgins once in a while, but you know.
I don't even think he was big into religion. I don't think.
I think a lot of them are just kind of like not, or just agnostic.
It was imagery.
Yeah, they were just using that imagery.
Imagery, role playing and stuff, and trying to put on a show.
Which, like I said, that's why I never.
It sold.
It did.
And you can make a spooky music.
Make it a spooky
spooky music.
Make it a spooky music.
Yeah.
Why'd you say it like that?
The Italian name came up. Because, you make a music. It's like opera.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I never really saw much difference between those two things. It's all just like a theatrical.
But I think Stryper was really trying to make a point of, no, we are not like that.
Yeah.
I really think that they were kind of serious about that.
Which
we're not going to make money off the devil.
Because other than their lame ass lyrics, everything else was pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, the quality was okay. Yeah. All right, it was okay.
I didn't notice them being, the music being noticeably lamer than any of the other ones.
No, it was about the same.
Yeah.
But the topic, the image, and just the idea of it, you know what I mean? I thought was lame.
Well, it just sucks all the fun out of it, man.
Yeah, and only fucking religious dudes were into it.
Well, yeah.
So that narrowed the fucking market down.
Yeah.
You know? I would say, I remember thinking that they weren't as good as Whitesnake or anything. They,
That's damning with faith.
Here I go again on my own. Going down a road that I've known.
Well, you're good, but you're no Whitesnake.
What's that?
You're good, but you're no Whitesnake.
Yeah. I got the white snake for you, babe. That's what he's talking about, man. The fucking white snake, man. Got a pink hood like a fucking cobra.
A spitting cobra.
Yeah, exactly. Shit's fucking spitting a noxious poison. But I would say that, Stryper might have been like on a par with like Queensryche. No, Queensryche was better.
Queensryche was a lot better.
Queensryche was a lot better
than Whitesnake.
Maybe kind of like Duncan.
Yeah.
Kind of like Duncan.
You know what's funny? Every time
I didn't like Duncan either.
No, me either. It's funny because like every time I wasn't super into heavy metal. Like I heard some of it, but never really my thing. Every time I hear the name Duncan, but I don't even remember who did this. It was like some comedian like back in the 80s, and he's like, Duncan, you suckin'. Yeah. So every time I hear that fucking name, I think of that.
Just Americans just didn't really know how to do metal until like the advent of fucking Metallica.
Yeah.
It was an LA inspired scene of kind of semi transvestites.
Well, it was glam rock was what it was. I don't even think it was...
Guys dressed up in their girlfriend's clothes. Their girlfriends doing their makeup and
like
shit.
Like I said, it was glam rock. It was more like the New York Dolls than... actual like heavy metal.
Yeah, it wasn't quite cool, I didn't think. The British knew how to do it, and the Germans.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking loved Accept. They were good. Although, there wasn't a lot of bands like that and from Germany. A lot of that shit from Germany was like the Scorpions.
Yeah. Which...
Yeah. Nah.
Speaking of the Scorpions,
Here I am!
You said you were going to tell that story about the Scorpions.
Man, we're running low on shit.
Rocky like a hurricane. Do you want to tell it real quick?
Okay. Comes to back. Okay, this takes us back to a time. How long ago was that? About 7 years ago.
Maybe maybe more like 8 or 9.
8 or 9 years. We had some friends of ours that were a couple, and they threw these damn goth nights at these clubs
every Friday. It was
every
for
Friday,
a while.
Right? And he was a DJ, and his wife Tina was the girl that fucking did the door and everything, and shit. What's his name again? Fucking Paul, yeah. So Paul calls me on a phone or something. I don't remember how this shit happened. I don't know how. Wait, I'm trying to remember how the story went.
Well, I think what initially ended up happening was that we were at
and he played fucking
Rocky Like a Hurricane.
Rocky Like a Hurricane.
Like as a joke,
song.
kind of, I guess.
No, it wasn't a joke. It was fucking during a set in a goth club.
Yeah.
And I heard that shit, and I went like, what the fuck? And I looked right at him, and he's back there spinning, and he's looking at me like, yeah, well. So I said, what the fuck are you playing? Fucking, and I'm laughing drunk, you know. Paul, what the fuck are you playing Scorpions for? Well, my good friend requested it, and I wanted.
That's right.
And I was just like, man, you tell it. This is a fucking goth night, man. Don't fucking play that shit on here. And it was later on in the night. They were fucking drunk. They were out there dancing to it anyway.
Yeah, they're like, whatever, we don't care. We're dancing.
I was mortified. I was fucking mortified.
He was.
Yeah. So, must have been about 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
They throw another event, and me and Jenny we're driving there. And who was with us?
It was Kaylee.
Kaylee, yeah.
And maybe one other person. Maybe it was Lacey.
Yeah, I
can't remember who. I
right.
can't remember who it was.
Kaylee and Lacey. Kaylee was this cute little fucking lesbian girl with fucking kitty ears and a fucking ninja mask, and she dressed up like a goddamn ninja. She's probably about what, 4'10"?
Yeah, she's a tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny
all right. Kaylee was with us, and Lacey was with us.
I think Lacey.
I think you're right. Lacey was this fucking skinny guy girl, this big old fucking ratted out hair. Okay, and she was funny. Anyway, they weren't a couple; they were just friends.
Yeah, they just friends, needed a ride.
So we're going there, and I get a text on my phone, and it's fucking Paul, and he's asking me if I'm coming. And I was already kind of 3 sheets to the wind, if I remember, because wasn't I pre-gaming a little bit?
Yeah, because I was driving. Pretty sure.
So I just text back, "Here I am," and I sent that shit to him. ... Yeah. And he starts coming back, and he's asking me another question. It doesn't really. I can't. This is not a story that I can really tell because you had to be there. And he's like, "No, I need to ask you something. Are you guys coming to this and that?" And he asked me another question, and I just fucking responded to that one. "Rock you like a hurricane" in the text. And he's like, "Fuck you," and this and that. And he stop. I know you're. And he's giving these big long fucking spiels over the text. And then I write out, "Da-na, da-na, da-da, rock you like a," and I'm sending him that shit. That's the text. And it drove him fucking crazy.
He just kept.
I kept doing it over fucking 20 minutes. He's sending me these long dissertations about why he played Scorpions and how I shouldn't fucking pick on him for his set and shit. You know what I mean? And I'm just sending him the lyrics to fucking to Rock You Like a Hurricane. I show up to the club. Me and Jen show up to the club. Our entourage enters. And as I come in, fucking his wife's fucking taking money at the door, and her eyes are already, one's a little bit bigger than the other, which lets me know that he's been talking to her about it. Waiting for, "Tom, I need to talk to you." So I'll be in this like, I just walked by her and fucking went and looked, and I see him, Paul, up there doing his set, fucking behind in the DJ booth, and he's looking at me, and he's having a nervous fucking breakdown. A nervous fucking breakdown. He's just fucking boiling, okay? He's a big old dude, too, you know? So I just fucking show up. I got the girls with me, you know what I mean? And I start singing to him. Rock You Like a Hurricane. And he's trying to reason with me. Okay. Tom, I just want to tell you something. I know you're just having fun. I just need to reason. You can't reason with me. Once I get on a roll, I'm fucking unfucking reasonable. So I just keep fucking rock you like a hurricane, and I'm fucking here I am, and I got the girls and shit with me. I'm reenacting a whole fucking video, Jenny's boobs and shit. You know what I mean? I'm doing the whole fucking video for them. The club's going and everything. Tom, I know you're just having fun, but you can't reason with me, man. Once I'm fucking coming at you like that. That was the story.
And
he eventually started laughing.
Yeah,
eventually.
It took a while.
When he realized that.
Well, I seem to remember that for many, many weeks afterward, every time you came in the club, he would start.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about
like
he got even with me.
The second he saw you,
as soon as he saw me in the club, the song would fade out and it'd go right in. Rock you like a hurricane. I'd have to go out there and fucking perform and shit. I forgot about that. There's all kinds of shit that's happened I forgot about.
Yeah. Yeah.
She reminds me, though.
I remember a lot of the shit that went on back then.
Yeah. It was a long time ago.
We had a good time.
Stories and shit that happen.
Yeah, we have lots of stories. We'll probably think of some more like after that. I'll see if I can draw.
A lot of stories about other people. Some of them I can't tell.
Yeah, I don't really want to get too much into fucking drama on other people. Yeah, but we can talk just about funny shit or shit that we did.
Big wife swaps going on in the hotels next door and all kinds of weird shit that was happening that we'd hear about. We weren't there.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
They were like, dude, where were you? And I was like, what are you talking about? Dude, I can't mention the names. I was like, yeah, they were doing it and this. Everybody was watching. Where were you?
We missed it.
Yeah. We missed it? Yeah, you should have seen it, man. I said, what room was this? Right across the way when you go out, man, it's like, I think it's room 23. It's one right there. Because next to the club was a hotel.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those old-fashioned hotels and shit. Well, they were hopping in over there and fucking doing all kinds of sexual perversions and shit.
Yeah.
People we knew. And they're married.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Just funny.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah, and these are not, these are cute people. You know what I mean? They're not just and they're just people that you know. Multicolored hair and shit. A lot of them fucking strippers or ex-strippers or fucking people that work at Disney and entertainers and funny shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, it is Orlando, so
it's Orlando.
A lot of people are in the tourism or entertainment
industry. Yeah. Orlando's kind of like the way Hollywood used to be back in the 50s.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I guess sort of.
You take old Hollywood and Las Vegas and kind of combine it. Kind of like that. Debauchery. Yeah.
Yeah, between Orlando and Tampa.
Yeah. Tampa might be worse than Orlando.
I think Tampa is worse. I lived over there for a little while, but yeah. I think it might be.
Yeah, it's like fucking Babylon.
And that's where the Orlando people go when it's kind of like Vegas, what happens in Tampa stays in Tampa.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They got a great goth club there called the Castle.
Yeah.
We tear up a castle too.
Been there for a million. God, how long has that shit been there?
She does all the flyers for certain DJs at the castle, all the main nights and shit.
Yeah.
And then we've had events. We were involved in events down there. It's a big fucking nice club.
Well, they started doing.
Looks like a castle.
Mark Paradise. They started doing last year. They started doing the Absolution Festival, which is 3 days.
Yeah.
So the Friday they started doing. They have a shop. They have all the people come and sell their wares or whatever.
Yeah, we do the shirts for it.
Yeah, and then the next 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night, they have it at 2 different venues, but they have a shit ton of bands. And they just did the first one last year, and it was a big success. So hopefully they get to do it again this year.
Me and Jenny, of course, get free run of the place backstage and fucking shit like that and hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Because we're staff on those nights.
Yeah, we made all the shirts. We had all the
Starry Night.
I made all the posters
and
logos
fucking
and
bunch of new bands.
I was like really happy to see like the turnout that like all
big.
The people that came last year. It was like really
it was bigger than half the shit that would go down in New York or Boston.
Yeah, and we didn't even go. I don't think we went on the Friday. We went on we went on one day, like on Saturday. Yeah. We didn't stay over.
South's on fucking fire when it comes to club stuff now down here in Florida. Florida's no joke.
Yeah, we've always had. We've had decent clubs for like a long time, but
only thing that's bad about it is that it's hot.
Yeah, so you can't really wear because we have like all these fabulous like
can't wear all your
and all this
velvet
other kind of
leather and all your you can't wear it.
I mean, you can, but you'll fucking
burn up.
Yeah, you'll get a heat stroke. All right, so this has probably been our longest Sidetracks yet. It's almost an hour long.
Shit.
It's Mother's Day, though.
Yeah, it's special Mother's Day.
It's a special Mother's Day edition.
You need to title this bitch sensationally to get them to watch it.
What do you want me to call it?
I don't know. Fuckfest 2015. All kinds of shit that was happening.
Well, then people are going to get like, they're going to click on it thinking there's all kinds of there's stuff on there that's like not on here. But yeah, so anyway.
We need to fucking take some footage of this shit eventually that goes on sometimes, you know, when we go to these events, and we'll put that on there for patrons only.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys would fucking trip out over this shit that happens there.
Yeah, it's old farts. We get up to like some terrible things.
It's funny, man. We're old, but it doesn't really seem like it.
No.
Nobody notices.
No.
We go to this shit. We're fucking around with people in their 20s and 30s, and they don't. You guys are 50? Yeah.
Well, like I said,
we were in our 40s. They didn't know.
I was talking to fucking Michael from A Starry Night one night at iBar, and he said something about being born in 1990.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
And I made a face like that. I was like, I graduated high school in 1990.
Yeah.
And he was just born. He's a baby. Because he's into the same kind of music as me, so it never really... I knew he was younger, but it didn't really occur to me how much younger he was.
A lot of these people, like you might see on Instagram, or maybe these cam girls, because we know some of these big boob cam girls and shit. When you look at them, you might think that would be a person in their 20s or 30s. No, they're in their 50s.
Some of them are,
Some of them are. They're much older than you think they are. People don't age the way that they used to for some reason.
A lot of goths hold it together.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's because we don't go out in the sun. Or...
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Fucking those two girls.
Yeah.
They look. I
haven't seen them in a while, but
yeah, they haven't been around a lot. But they were our age.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd never know.
But you wouldn't know by looking.
I mean, most of the people that we hang out with that are our age, you wouldn't know.
You really wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Because they don't look at it all. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, Sonia.
Yeah, she's older than me.
Sonia might be older than me.
I think she might be a year or two.
By a year or two, but you would never know by looking at her.
No. Yeah. I don't think anyone would ever guess that.
No, and her husband is probably 20 years younger than her, huh?
I don't know about... No, I don't think he's 20 years younger.
15,
he is. I think
20.
he might be somewhat younger, but I don't remember how old he is.
He's actually at least 10 years younger.
Yeah, I don't remember how old he is.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah. I just, like I said, he might be. I'm not really sure how old he is, though. I haven't seen him in a long time either.
Sonia's this little skinny chick that we used to hang out with, and little skinny chick, big boobs, big implants, fake looking, but she had that kind of like fake, kind of attractive, kind of fake looking, funny in her way.
Yeah. I miss her sometimes.
Yeah.
We haven't seen her in a long time.
No.
She stopped going out like a long time ago for some reason.
Her husband reclaimed her.
Yeah. He wouldn't let her go out with us anymore.
No. Too much trouble.
She did get in trouble a lot.
We made sure of it.
That's true. Yeah, we didn't encourage it, but we didn't discourage it either.
No.
All right. So do you have any ideas about what you want to title this or no? You don't?
No, you'll come up with something.
Oh, okay. So it's on me. I got it.
It's on you.
All right. So hopefully you guys have a lovely rest of your Mother's Day and your Sunday. And we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.